totally different, and I'm completely lost. But that's okay. I'm a technological master, so I'll figure it out. Curls has taken us live without even saying anything. Oh man.
And we are live.
You stole my sunshine, Curls. Man.
Welcome everybody, and Happy New Year. We are back with Danny Ham and your In Focus with the cool kids. So Danny, welcome. And the
Thank
floor
you.
is yours.
Thank you, Curls. I appreciate that. I see that you got sneaky over our break and found a way to pull that in without me messing it up. So thank you. Welcome to our In Focus call, gratitude, attitude, and commitment. If this is your first time here, we're glad to have you. We hang out here every couple weeks and try to learn some stuff and share. So this call, if you've never been on it before, is this is interactive. So, if you have something to share, if you have something to say, then just say it. Like, you don't have to raise your hand, or you don't have to do any of that. This is informal as we go here. And you can say whatever you want, however you want. Curls is constantly cussing on the call, and we all just put up with it. So feel free to just, speak your mind on today's call. So we do a book of the week. Oh, also, and I can't always see everybody, like if I'm looking at notes and stuff. So really just shout out if you got something to say. Like don't if you raise your hand and I don't see you, then I feel bad. We do a book of the week. Although the call is every 2 weeks, we still call it the book of the week because no one has come up with anything more clever for us to call it than book of the week. And the one that we did in December is going to be the topic of today's call. And the book is one word that will change your life. And if you don't have this, Hassan, what's up, brother? I just saw you there. Good to see you, man. If you don't have it, that's okay. I know some people have gotten the book or gotten the audio book and have reached out to me and told me they had their words and stuff, but it came with a little PDF, which I will give Curls to post wherever it is that she posts things that people can access. But essentially it's just like a few pages, and the whole premise of the book, which, I mean, it's super small. It's like 30 minutes. I mean, it's nothing, right? But the whole premise of the book is to find a word that resonates with you from the right place. And that's your word for the year, right? And to kind of use that as a filter, let's say, for how we approach life this year in 2021, right? Not that this is not like a New Year's resolution type thing. Definitely not. This is just something a way to live, right? A word that we can kind of live through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over just some of the questions that it has that were in the PDF for you to think about. And if you haven't read the book, and if you're not familiar with it, which most of you haven't, so no worries. Just kind of write these things down, and you can go back to them later if you want to, and come up with your word for the year, right? So before I do this, Curls, I had a call before I forget, I had a call with Gavin yesterday, and I wanted to thank you that you like me more than him. He told me that you don't always show up for his call. And I said, well, Curls is always on time for our call. And she's even early, actually. And she makes me special signs. So I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate the fact that you love me more than Gavin. Thank you.
You're all troublemakers too.
I told him I was going to tell you that. Okay. So one word that will change your life. Now, what I'm going to do is just run through this, and then those of us who have kind of come up with the word already, we're going to share like what it is and why we chose that word and everything. But for those of us who haven't, this is an opportunity to kind of come up with that and see how it works. And I think this is something that could be powerful, because it's not just us hanging out here in this little space of time. It's something that we can do afterward to take action, to help ourselves and to help other people, right? So the first thing that you will need to do is just unplug, right? Like take some time for yourself, with no noise, no distractions, definitely no phone, and create an environment where you can look inward to quiet your mind, right? And really listen to your heart. So if you meditate, if you pray, or however you have your quiet time, kind of get in that setting, get in that scenario where you don't have the distractions. Okay. And you're going to ask yourself 3 questions. What do I need? What's in my way? And what needs to go? Right. And the premise of this, because some people's word might end up being something they need to let go of, right? Because we hold on to stuff, whether it's our old story, whether it's how we talk to ourselves, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a habit that we have, whatever that is. For some people, the most powerful thing that they could do to change their life would be to let go of something. So, and that's kind of why the questions are as they are. Like, what do I need? Obviously, that's something you would receive. What's in my way? That's some blockage that you could remove. And of course, what needs to go is, stuff we got to get rid of. So, so discover your word. So you think on this, you meditate on this, you pray on it, whatever, however it is, that you quiet your mind. And now that your heart is ready, it's time to you plug in and you just listen up, right? Like you just plug into whatever it is that you connect to, and you just listen, right? And once you've kind of opened your heart and you've prepared that and you're ready to receive your word, the universe has a word that's meant for you. And the book uses the term God. I changed that to the universe, because it's whatever you believe in. But hopefully you believe in something that's greater than you, whatever that is, even if it's the collection of people on this call, right? And the universe, can use all means of communicating with us, right? And we never know when or where the world will be revealed to you. So, like an example that this made me think of when I read that is, like my higher power speaks to me through other people. Just whenever I'm thinking of something a lot in my mind, if I pray about something, if I meditate about something, like I don't ever have anything that speaks to me. But if I'm aware of my surroundings and the people that I'm around, someone will say something in my life that answers exactly what it is that I'm looking for, right? And a lot of times it's not to me directly, but I get messages from other people, and that's something just to be mindful of whenever we're trying to come up with this. Is just have that awareness that people don't have to be sending us a big bright billboard, of a message. If we're just aware of what's around us, we'll get our answers, in my opinion. So just kind of ask the universe to reveal your word to you, with a simple question like, what do you want me to do? What do you want to do through me? Right? And just write down whatever comes to your heart, and listen, and be open to the word that the universe shares with you. And for me, the word that I consciously, logically came up with kind of right away is not the word that I ended up with. I sat with it for a couple days, and in being in other people's space, and thinking about it, meditating on it, and doing some things like that, I came up with another word that just feels right. And I've been trying to put it into practice daily so far this year, and being in quarantine, I've had a lot of time to just sit on my ass and think about it. Right. So, and it's the right word. It's definitely the right word for me. Right. Which I'll share. So, once we come up with that, the next part of the book and the next part of the worksheet and everything says to do is you have to live the word. Right. So like once you discover the word that's meant for you, it's time to live it. And yeah, I relate a lot of that, to my recovery stuff, because people will, it's not about answering questions. It's not about doing steps. It's not about saying the right thing. It's about, are you putting that into practice in the way that you live your life? So this really resonated with me, because it's not enough to just have a word that we write on a Post-it note and we stick it on our mirror. I mean, all that stuff's cool, but if that's all we do is look at it when we brush our teeth, or look at it when we have it written down on our notepad or our computer or something like that, that's not really living it, right? That's not going to change our life. The fact if we just write something down or if we talk about it, that doesn't change your life. What changes our life and what changes other people's lives is action, right? It's actually living it, and it's in my opinion, it's easier said than done, because to actually pause, to live in a certain way through a filter, it takes practice, man. It takes practice. Like, I've been working on myself pretty deep for years now, and the first thing that comes to my mind is still really not what I want to say most of the time. Like, it's just not. So having the ability to pause, to look at a situation, to how we're going to respond instead of react, and then respond through this word, whatever that is. And the first time that I was introduced to anything like this, and a lot of the people on this call have experienced it as well, is in the brand incubator, when JJ helped me come up with my purpose. And the whole point of that is to look at situations and show up in life with your purpose as your filter. And it's hard to do, especially in the beginning, because for one, you just don't think of it, because we're just reactionary beings. We're used to just, well, this is what happens, so this is what I do. I think I shared a story on, I know it was on a broadcast. Anyway, that's an example of this. So I go to the gym every morning, like that's my jam, right? And I go the same way there, I go the same way back. And there was road construction on this road, the way that I go home. Okay. And I did that for 7 days in a row. I turned down the road that I knew had construction on it, because I was just there yesterday at this exact same time. But I was just so used to driving this way that I kept doing it over and over and over again, which is obviously insanity. And I obviously need to pay better attention. But that's human nature. Like, we just do things because we're used to doing them, right? So whenever we get a little more awareness, we have the ability to pause and to respond in a way and show up in life in a different way than we're just used to reacting. And I think that this book is cool. I think that having a word to just make us focus in one area that we believe will be good for us is powerful. It has a potential to be powerful if we do something with it, So what I'd like you guys to do, if you don't mind, is for those of you who have read the book or have come up with a word, put it in the chat. Just put your word in the chat here, and we're going to kind of unpack it a little bit and see the reasons why we came up with that. And then for those of you who haven't, like, I'd love to get your input. I'd love to get your opinion as well on, what you feel about this, because I'm all about habits, right? Like, I believe in creating successful habits and being committed to those habits. And, I think that committing to just living in a way that brings us closer to who we're trying to be is healthy, and I think that we can't really change what we're trying to do unless we have a real acceptance of where we're at. And I think that the exercises in this book give you a good example of just getting quiet and realizing kind of where you are, like with the questions that it has in the beginning, like, what do I need? What's in my way? What do I need to let go? Like, some people just don't even think about that, because we just going through the motions and like, this is what I do because this is just what I've always done. Right. And until we really look at that stuff to address it, we can't change. If somebody wants to lose 20 pounds, for example, or 10 kilos, you don't know what that is unless you know where you're starting from. unless you know how much you weigh to start with, you're going to have no idea if you've ever accomplished your goal, right? So we have to look at where we are to see how we're going to grow. And I'm going to check the chat in a minute, but I will share my word for you guys. So, you know, for me, I like to put things where I can visually see them, like we talked about, like Post-it notes and stuff like that. So what I do is I put what I'm focusing on my screen, because I look at my screen all day, right? So my word for the year is impact. That's my word, and I've got it on the my phone, you know, whatever they call that, the wallpaper, the home screen thing. That's the word. That's the second word. That's the word that came to me. It wasn't the word that I came up with, but that's the word that came to me after I thought about it for a couple of days. And so the book recommended you look up the definition, so I did that. And the definition that I resonated with is to have a strong effect on someone or something, which is a verb. It also had a noun definition that said the action of one object coming forcibly into contact with another. So I didn't really resonate with that one. But the verb I did. And why I've chosen this word, or why this word chose me, is because I have these different areas of my life, right? There is, for me personally, health, I believe, is, you know, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and professionally, you know, financially, these different areas of my life. And I have these habits that I do, that I'm in the habit of doing, that serve me, right? But if I don't stop and look at them and see if they could serve me better, right, or see something that I can do to improve, then I'm guilty of just going through the motions myself. And when I've kind of looked at them, I can use the word impact to say what is going to have an impact in each area of my life, you know, and in doing that, since I came up with that as my word, I've had the opportunity when I'm in other people's space, dealing with other people, to look at things like, well, how can I have the most impact on this person's life? You know, or how can I, like I got an email yesterday for this dystonia charity. It's like my favorite charity that I volunteer some time and some money to and stuff. And it's asking all these questions of volunteers, like, you know, how many times are you going to volunteer a year? And like, are you willing to, what do they call it? Like basically coordinate an event, you know? And in the past, I've always put no, like I've never done that. Like I volunteer how I volunteer, right? But through doing this exercise, it gave me the opportunity, well, how can I have the biggest impact on this charity? And how can I have the biggest impact on the people's lives that this touches? And it would be to say yes to this question. So I put yes, right? And had I not made the decision to really try to live my life to have more impact in every area, I would have just checked the same boxes that I've checked before and moved on about my day, you know? So that's an example of me trying to put it into practice, to come up with it, right? So let me check the chat here.
I'll do that for you, because for some reason it all came as direct messages to me. So
I see him. I see him here, I think.
You do?
Maybe not. I mean, I'm a technological wizard.
I
We all know.
have just changed the settings, but I'll give you the ones that came as direct messages to me. Jacqueline, trust.
Trust. I like it. So Jacqueline, why did trust choose you? Why did you come up with that?
Hi, everyone. Great to see you all. Yeah, I would have to say it's just like you said, I've always done the same things over and over, and I was expecting different results. And like you said, I never really paid attention to my problems in life or why I didn't move forward in my life. And I like the word when you used universe, because I found my word, everything by accident, actually. And a couple of weeks ago, Justin came out on Brian's call, and he talked about work-life balance and how he sees the topic of work-life balance. And it suddenly hit me that is my number one problem in life. Always keeping, or I'm trying to keep work-life balance what I thought it should look like. And I always tried to keep all 4 areas in my life, but I didn't realize that that's not me. There are days where I just want to put more time in my business and not in my private life, but I've always tried to put 2 hours in this, 2 hours in this, and you know what I mean? And that just stressed me out completely. And when Justin talked about that, he just doesn't do that, it just made click, and I realized that that wasn't my basic problem. And a week later, you came out with your book and that one word, and I thought, oh, interesting. And I thought, like, however are you going to find that one word for your whole next year? And then Susan Harden and Hilton Forrester talked on Gavin's call on a Sunday about courage. And when these two were talking, it was just the word trust that was hitting my mind. And I didn't pay attention to that. I just heard the word trust when they were talking about courage. And another week later, or when you had that Q&A with Irene Webster, and she talked about she has no habits and she's just taking everything in as it comes. And when I combined that word trust with your Q&A call with Irene, it just all kind of makes sense in how am I going to say that? When I started working with the word trust, fear finally is making it's making room for trust. You know, the feeling of fear is going away since I've been working with that word trust. But I just like the process from realizing my problem to finding your book and yeah, being on another call when 2 people are talking and the word just popped up. And I was in such a fear that I wouldn't find a word. And it's interesting sitting here now and realizing that all just came totally effortless. It's funny now that I say that out loud. So yeah, thank you for letting me share that.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Okay, Curls, what do you have next?
Ian,
We're gonna put you to work today, girl. We're putting you to work today.
I know, I love it. Ian Clark word is consistency. Are you in, Ian?
I'm here.
Oh, good.
What do you want to know?
How did you what's that word mean to you? Like why do you think that word came to you, and how are you going to implement it?
I think I've tried sort of many different things over the last few years and never, good advice, health things, and never felt like they really worked. And I think what was missing is that it's just consistency. It's like it will work, just give it a bit more time. And yeah, that's how I come up with it.
Right on. I believe that consistency is the key to success in pretty much everything. Honestly, I think that's a great word. I think that most people quit, before they actually get the result that they want, and I think that's due to lack of commitment and consistency. So I think that's an excellent word. And Curls has absolutely left us. So I have some over here. Chris came up with focus. My man, how'd you come up with focus? What's that mean to you?
Morning, everybody. So this word kept on coming back to me. It's one that I need to change my focus from my work from my job to the stuff that I want to do. So I looked at it, and it's a clear understanding of my values is what I need to focus on and reprioritize that. So bringing me into focusing on my goals, my stuff, not other. And same thing, it was looking at life through a different lens and focusing on where I want to go and what I want to do.
Awesome, brother. Thank you for sharing, man.
Thank you.
Looking at life through a different lens, it sounds simple, but until we actually do it, it's not, right? Because I have a lens. This is my lens. This is how I look at things, and to look at things from outside of that takes some work, man. So good for you coming up with that. All right, Alba has growth.
Hi. So yeah, I've got that word because Well, it came up actually when I was getting my core values in the brand incubator process. And I really, after that, for some reason, there was a few words, but that was one of them that I kept thinking about. And I love, for me, what it means is the wanting to get better, but slowly, and knowing that where you are now is good. It's not that where you are now is bad and you've got to get better. It's more just that there's always space to grow. And especially being in this community, I really feel like I've still got so much to learn and to find out and to discover and everything. So yeah, it's just a word that to me just kind of reminds me of how much I can do, and there's so much space for me to go forward from here. And I thought, when we had that call where you talked about your one word, I haven't read the book, but I was around the same time I was doing my core values. So yeah, I just thought it would be, I wanted to make that my word for this year and see how far I can get.
Love it. Thank you for sharing. And I think that, or it's been my experience, that we don't realize the growth that we actually have, unless we stop and look at it. Like the video that you put out, your YouTube video you did after Out of 90 or for the whole year, like that was badass, right? And you definitely couldn't do all that whenever you started this journey, And I was talking with a friend the other day. We joined the SFM about the same time, and he's got like these online where he just has these skills, right? That he just taken for granted. He's just sitting here going through doing this stuff. And I'm like, just pause for a second, bro. Like this time last year, you couldn't do any of this, like any of this, you know what I mean? And we learned to do a lot of stuff here. And I think that we have to pause and recognize and give ourselves an opportunity to see how much we have grown, because we have a tendency to realize how far we have to go, and how much stuff that we have to learn, as opposed to look at all this that I've already learned and the growth that I've already experienced, and that makes it more fun. I think more exciting to do all the hard shit, right? Because we grow through it. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it, Alpha.
Thank you.
Let's see. We have over here, Charlie, relationships.
Yes, I'm putting theirs on there, changing your names, guys, on the screen, so it will be easier for Danny. So I'm going round.
Oh, look at that.
I know, it's so cool. So we'll have like a panel with all the words.
I just tried to find my name back again. I was wondering what that meant.
No. So don't be surprised if your name changes.
I like it.
Is this to make it easier for Danny, or are you just lazy and don't want to speak out openly?
Probably both.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, good. Do you think that stems from laziness to rewrite all your names on the screen?
No.
Rethink your question.
It takes effort. And a skill set that I do not possess, because I couldn't do that. I can't even change my own name.
Yeah,
my name changes, it's just staying as Danny on Zoom, like forever.
It took me months to figure that out.
Well, it's about to change, Danny. Impact. Boom.
Right on. I can always count on you, girls. Thank you, dear. So, Charlie, tell me about relationships, man.
Yeah, well, first, last time we met, I was intrigued by the whole one word thing. And, while I was trying to get the book, which I haven't gotten yet, I just started doing, of course, going to where you get all information, Google searches and YouTube searches. And I just started looking it up, listening to the authors and talking about stuff. And then, as you said, I just kind of got quiet, prayed about it, thought about it. And it came pretty quickly, which I was surprised too, because I was the same thing as, I think Al was saying that, or one of the other ones were saying about how are you going to come up with one word? And relationships came up for me. And I think it's, focusing more on establishing some new good relationships, fixing maybe a few that aren't so good at the moment, taking some that are good to the next level. And then there are probably maybe a couple that I need to let go of. But I think just focusing on not worrying about, necessarily growth in money or that type of thing, but focusing just on the relationship and then allow the rest to come and allow doors to open through relationships. So that came out pretty strongly. And I love the idea of putting it, a little bit more focused, like on my screen or something, so I see it more often, so I don't forget about this, like we do sometimes. And for me, it's just going to be focusing on building relationships this year and improving relationships.
I love it, man. Thank you for sharing. I think that relationships are so powerful, and we've had a couple calls on this, and we'll probably do another one soon, but it's, I believe that I don't believe anybody in our life, and this is just my opinion, is neutral. I believe people make us better, right? Or I believe they're a negative influence in our life, and a lot of times it's difficult to remove the negative influences from our life, especially if they're like family or something, but relationships are massive, man. Like they have the biggest impact on us, and I think that whenever I think of relationships, the first one that comes to my mind that I have to put the most effort in is my relationship with myself, and I've found that the better my relationship with myself and my higher power, the better the relationships are with other people in every area of my life, man. So yeah, I love that, brother.
Good point. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, Shabir, serving. I can't believe that, man. That's so unlike you. Share with us about serving, my friend.
Thank you, Danny. Hello, everyone. I'm so lucky. I lost the internet, but I came back that I can see all these beautiful faces. Before I couldn't when I was on the mobile phone. Serving is so important to me. I start serving myself, serving my family, and serving the world. And by serving, this is what I found out in my life, that how I can get happy, not on my face, to get fulfilled in my life when I serve someone. And serving with love and respect. Serving the birds in my backyard. That makes me happy by looking those birds that they eating those breads that I put for them. And my mother shared with me last week that now she's coming and staying with me like 4 or 5 days a week, every week, because I'm serving her, I'm helping her with the mindset and a lot. And she had a dream while she was in my place. She had a dream that I have been sent to this planet. She doesn't tell me who have sent me here, but I have been sent here like as a messenger, like as someone to serve. That is the only job. Someone is telling my mom in her dream that your son, the only job that he's got is to serve. I got so emotional about that. And when you gave this name of the book, and thank you for sending me the audiobook, that link never worked for me. But I found a way to read that book, like the first 4 pages. And I ordered express delivery from Amazon today, and it's coming tomorrow. So unfortunately, I couldn't get it today. And that's the word serving. And for the rest of my life, I serve. I serve with love and respect, and that's what makes me happy. Nothing is better than that. And that's my word. I will stay forever.
I love it. Thanks for sharing, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Gina, it says breakthrough and then forgive ... Is that forgiveness?
Yes, that's breakthrough and forgiveness. The breakthrough is the very important word for me, but that's the big wish, I think. And I think I'm still on the stage where I work on myself. I still didn't reach this level where I could say, okay, I want to do things for the rest of the world, or kind of like feel to be serving. So I'm kind of working still on my own things, and then the deeper word is forgiveness, because what I feel is like, for me to move forward, it's really important to let go of many things from my previous experiences. So that's why it's 2 words.
Right on. So forgiveness is very powerful, and it's been my experience that we don't forgive for other people. We forgive so that we don't carry these burdens, and forgiving ourselves is where we have to start with that, and I found that if we are able to forgive ourselves, then it carries down into all the other areas of our life, and so it would be my opinion, if you really focused on forgiveness, that you would have breakthroughs in the other areas. I think that one would lead to the other. There's a couple really good books on forgiveness. If you want, I'll recommend them to you. I'm not at my library right now, so I don't remember the exact names, but Forgiveness is a Choice actually is the name of one of them. But I'll send them to you. But I think that's a great word. Thank you for sharing. It's good to have you on the call.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hilton, courageous, my brother.
Hi, Danny. Hi, all. I am. Yes, it's really interesting that I've got courageous. Before Christmas, it was courage. The same. The word courage for me. The word courage for me was something which I had from the end of last year, and I was watching a movie we call Heaven Almighty, and it's a movie. It's a comedy. You may have heard of it, Danny.
Yes.
When Morgan Freeman's supposed to be guarding it, and all the animals come onto the ark 2 by 2. And there was part of that movie which really hit me, where he actually mentioned in the movie that when you ask for something from God, He doesn't give you the thing what you ask for. He gives you the opportunity to act on the thing you ask for. So I was asking for courage, and God gave me the opportunity to be courageous. And when I heard that in the movie, I thought, oh my God, I've got to start to act courageous through the opportunities which come to me. And I started then straight away doing different things the next day after I watched the movie to be courageous. And one of the things I started doing is I wrote on the floor at the side of my bed, FTF on a piece of paper. And that means feared thing first. And before going to bed, I'd write down 3 things which are going to be uncomfortable or fearful, what I need to do the next day. And I started doing this. So similar to what you're saying about the 3 questions, I from a few weeks ago, I downloaded the book straight away after the call, and I started listening to it. And what do I need to let go? What's in my way? And what do I need? And being courageous is the thing which answers those 3 questions for me. And I was on a networking call on Monday, and there was they had to do there was similar to this, and they were asking somebody to do a presentation for 20 minutes. And I found myself going through my head, be courageous, and I put my hand up and said, I will do it, not knowing what I'm going to talk about and not knowing where I'm going to get the content from. And the day after that, I thought, oh shit, I've got to do it next week, which is next on Monday at 10 a.m. And I thought, okay, well, what am I going to speak about? And something came to me, and then I said, stillness. And I thought, great, yeah, I'll talk about stillness. So now I've got to find the content to do with stillness. So like you say, Danny, it's the action of it, which is making it real more than the word itself. That's what I'd like to share. Thanks.
I love it, man. Thank you for sharing, brother. Yeah, we got this saying that says, don't pray for patience because God will give you something to be patient about, And I agree with that. Give you the opportunity to figure it out on your own, man. I love it. You can always also share on courageousness, man, because you've got that down. The way that you show up for life is awesome, dude. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Thank you.
Casper, change, my friend. Tell me what you got.
Yeah, so to be honest, that was the word that just came up during this call because yeah, I didn't read the book and I didn't do my homework. Sorry, Dan. Sorry, but now it was. I mean, it's just the amazing thing is how much we change, and I think that's especially now, as many of you know, I'm a traveler. Being in lockdown as a traveler is the worst thing ever. It's you can't put a traveler in lockdown. That's like it's awful. But so yeah, for me, change is was the first word that comes up. But what I'm going to do is your advice in the beginning, the meditate on this a bit and let the universe give me the word for this year because I love this. And there was one thing that I wanted to share because what I would do with situations or systems like these is I would write down the words, the positive words that like we all have, but I would also write down the negative words, so the basically. I can't remember who said it, but well, it doesn't really matter. We can all do that, like the uncourage or untrust or unbalance, and then write down all the things that are the because then you know what you're not going to do this year. And every time when you spot that you're doing that thing, you can correct yourself and go, no, wait a second, back to balance, back to trust, back to presence, or whatever it is. And another thing I wanted to say is, Shabir, I couldn't see what you wrote down. I couldn't see it on my screen, and I thought you were saying surfing. And for the half of your story, I thought you were on a surfboard for life and for trust, and that's why you were in this world for surfing. And literally, you should watch yourself back on this call and just replace surfing for surfing, because you're a cool dude now, man.
Should be right by you, riding the waves, dude.
Yeah, it was a completely different story, but I loved it. And then it clicked. Oh, surfing the world. So yeah, no, but that for me, change is the most important thing. Is that I feel next to the fact that I am locked down on a tropical island, and you don't hear me complain. Absolutely not, because still got money coming in, and it's still, well, I'm still on a tropical island, but it feels like Groundhog Day, and I want to change. I want to change some stuff, and I noticed that, especially with the lockdown and everything that's going on, the change is not going to come from the outside. So I need to get this change from the inside, and I think that that's going to be my toughest task because I'm also a bit lazy. I like, as you said as well, Danny, it's like you are so systematic. You walk the same road every day, and I do everything. But now I've been doing the same road every day for a year. So I need a little bit of a change, and I need to find that within myself. That will be it for me this year, I think. But I will meditate on that. I will meditate on that.
Think on it, bro. Next time you walk that road, just start at the other end and walk backwards. Then you're at least going in reverse.
Well, the good thing here is I said that to my thing why I love living in Asia. Every day, you just have to keep your eyes open, drive your motorbike slowly, and there's every day something going. Why is this guy doing that? And that makes me at least just a small thing, and that makes me happy for the day. That could keep me laughing for a whole day. But some good changes needed. That's my word.
Thank you for sharing, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Susan, you have presence.
Yes, I also, like Catherine and a few people, did not read the book, and I had lots of words, but that word just kind of brings it all together. When you said that about looking up the definition, I did, and that doesn't really make sense, but what it means to me is it's really about showing up and stepping up and wholeheartedly taking my place in the world and just having that presence to really be myself, you know, which is about, yeah, trusting myself. It's also about courage, awareness, stillness. for me, there's so many different things in that. You know, I could take almost a bit of what everybody says. I see someone there has balance. So it's, yeah, but it's more that, just that present. I'm not just being present, but having the presence of me to be out and shine and take my place somehow. That's my thing for this year. And it's taken me, all of last year was a real struggle for me, and I've had a huge amount of growth since I joined SFM, and it's just like this massive sense of it's my time to step up and show up. So that's my
I love it. You have had a lot of growth since you joined the SFM. It's been awesome to witness. You know, one thing that I've done that sounds simple that I really had an impact on me with being present is eating. So, you know, working from home, you're at the computer a lot. Like historically, I would just, you know, and I kind of prep my food in advance of the food's already made. So I would just eat it in front of the computer, right? Or I would work and I would eat. And then I made a commitment to myself last year that I call it mindful eating, but I just made that shit up. It doesn't really mean anything. It just means that I leave my phone in the other room. Like I'm not at my computer, I sit in the sunroom, or like when I'm not here at my lake house, I sit out on the lake and I just eat with no technology, with no distractions. And for one, I find I eat less. But two, it's just like, we're just blessed, man. Like life is cool, right? Even when it sucks, it's still cool. And whenever we sit there and we eat and that's what we do. Like, and we're just present because, you know, the days get so busy. And even if you just do that a few times a day, that had a big impact on me. So hopefully that helps. You should try it.
Yeah, I do that too. You say that it doesn't mean, or you just made it up, or it doesn't mean anything, but I also do that. I did a retreat away years ago, and it just seemed so crazy to do other things while eating. So mostly I always do that. I take my food when I can, I sit outside, but it's also a thing for me about nourishing myself, to really put the love into preparing the food and just eat it with full awareness. I think that's really important. And whether you need to put on weight or lose weight, it works both ways, I think.
Oh yeah, if you eat with no distraction, you're much more mindful about what you're putting in your body. Like nobody wants to sit there in silence and eat a bunch of bacon. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, or whatever you think is bad for you, or a cake. Well, maybe Charlie does. Charlie wants to sit there in silence and eat bacon. I'm not saying I wouldn't like it. I'm just saying I know it's not good for me. You know what I mean? All right, Sharon, you have balance.
Hi, Danny. Yeah, this is my first time here. So hello to everybody.
Welcome. Where
thank
are you like sitting? Where are you from?
I'm from the UK. Originally from South Africa, but I'm based in the UK now. So yes, my one word was balance. And the reason for that was that really came up for me quite a lot, was because there were so many. I think everyone had a really different 2020, and I actually, towards the end of it, had a lot of people saying that they were so glad to see the back end of 2020. And although it was very difficult, I could not ignore the fact that there's been so much growth in my life through that period. So it is usually through the difficult things in life that we actually grow the most. So I had a profound sort of sense of gratitude actually for the year, that most people would have usually have said, this is not a great year to be thankful for, but I was thankful for the growth part of it, and seeing a longer reaping rewards because of having gone through those difficulties. So so for me, balance is kind of, I feel sometimes like I'm on a tightrope, you know, just walking along, just trying to keep my balance, to, you know, not to overreact, and to be really thinking how I'm going to respond rather. Also balancing not just my emotions and the way that I'm feeling, but also sometimes it's balancing responsibilities and duties that I have around my home, around my business, around all different things in my life. So balance became really quite a important thing for me for this year. So when you said about the one word, and I think I had read that book a few years ago, Yes, but so yeah, that just came out very strongly for me this year, that balance was going to be the thing that I needed to do, to also balance between some of the negative things that are happening, and also look at the strengths. So where I can pinpoint the weaknesses, I also at the same time need to acknowledge there's been a lot of strength and a lot of growth. So it's not just seeing it's trying to see things from both sides, and really ultimately hoping that the positive is going to outweigh the negative. That's
Awesome.
really.
I love that. Thank you. I totally agree with everything that you said. I see so much people about, oh God, thank God 2020 is gone. And it's 2020 was the shit, man. Like I had so much growth last year. Like I had an opportunity to spend all this time with myself, and you get to learn about some things. You get to look at things different. I think that people connected all over the world, whether it be on Zoom, but people had game night. Like I think that it brought humanity together a little bit. I think 2020 was great. I had my best year. And I was like blind for a month. Like I hit myself in the eye with my exercise band trying to make my home gym. It was a hot mess. I think I did one of these calls with an eye patch, and all kinds of bad stuff did happen. But just because bad things happen, that doesn't mean that there's not something we can learn out of it. As long as it doesn't kill us, it's all about the experience, man. Adversity is how we gain strength, in my humble opinion. One thing that I found that has been the single most helpful thing to remember and balance for myself, which of course I struggle with like every human being, is just remembering that no is a complete sentence. It requires no explanation. No. Brings you a lot of peace. I mean, I add thank you to it sometimes, because I don't want to come across like an asshole. But generally I'll say just no thank you, and then no, that's it. And then the people that actually care about you will accept that and respect that. And the people that get all upset about it, it gives you an idea that might not be somebody I need to hang out with and have me in my life, man. Like Dr. Seuss always says, be who you are, say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. I love that. Curls, do you have a call at 10, or do we have a few more minutes? No? Good. All right. Anna has now. I like it. Tell me about now.
Hi, I'm here in this group, in this call for first time, and I haven't read the book, but now has been very important, basically from the moment I made the decision to sign in for SFM. And why it's now, it's because I'm analytic. So for the most of the time, whenever there is something to do and I have to make the decision, I analyze it down to the molecules, which kind of ends up like, yeah, well, no, it's not such a good idea. And so now has kind of that impact to keep moving forward, instead of spending so hilarious lots of time and analyzing and looking at each stone and really kind of picking it apart at all of the time. Doing it, well, all right, it ends wherever it ends. It's going to be an experience. I'm going to learn things along the way, and I can analyze along the way. I don't need to spend that much time just doing it, because analyzing and working it way I always did usually meant that from the moment I start thinking of making a decision until the point I do, that could take months. and usually gets like, okay, the time is off, the train passed, leave it. So now has that impact on me, that every time I catch myself in that analytic state of mind, it's like, no, now. And then things start happening as they should, and it gets to the point when actually things get to the goal, not just done, but also reach the goal to whatever they're gonna be. And if it was the wrong decision, I can start all over again and try to make another one.
Right on. I like it. So it's about action.
Yeah.
Taking action. I did that on my phone. So I have that on my phone. Like, because the only time I look at my phone is when I want to know what time it is. And the time is always now, right fucking now. Now, time is now. Whatever it is now. Be where you are. Time is now. Act now. Do things now. And that's been helpful because I'll go to look, what time is, oh, it doesn't matter because the time is right now. That's what time it is, you know? So that might be a tip that helps. I really like that. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. We're glad to have you on the call. All right, Hassan has focus. We got a few more minutes, guys, but I definitely want to make sure everybody gets a chance to share, put a word out there.
Hi, Danny. Hi, everyone.
What's up, man? Hey, Casper's giving you a run for the money on the beard game. Just saying.
Yes.
Trying to catch up.
Yes. It's not as great as mine.
I'm going to win, though. I'm going to win. I will catch up.
Yeah, so similar to other people, I've not read the book, but just during this call, the word focus came up for me. And the first thing I'd like to say is that when I first met you, it was when I joined in 2019 through the 90-day video journey, and you definitely had an impact on me, sir. So appreciate that,
brother. Thank you.
And you know, ever since as well. So, and I guess that's probably why I'm joining this call as well. So thank you for that. And just so for me, I've realized that I need to focus on my goals. So setting the goals and focusing on them. So again, thank you for the call to action 90. That's the boot up the backside I needed, and a great start to this year. So I'm going to focus on that for the next 90 days. I've identified my goals and how am I going to achieve them. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And I'd just like to say one last thing. When I went to the Elite workshop in November 2019, when it was, you know, we had the event, Curls was one of the first person that came up and met me. And, you know, for me, it takes courage to go and, you know, meet a stranger and just start a conversation. So I really appreciate that, Curls. And when I was registering, I picked up my name card, and there were some labels that we needed to pick up. I wasn't sure why I was picking them up. I stuck it onto my card, and it says Discover. Okay, and I never knew why that was. And today, you know, I've just realised I'm through this journey. I'm discovering my gift and how I can share it with everyone. So thanks, and that's my share for today.
I love it. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Good, grateful. I appreciate your kind words, man. I'm grateful to have you here, Hassan. Let's see, Kenya. Your name hasn't changed, but I thought attention. I'll look at that. As I speak, Curls solves the problems of the world. You want to share on attention for me, Kenya? You got to unmute. It's in the bottom corner. That's actually the only thing I know how to do on Zoom is unmute myself so that I can talk.
Thank you for giving me the space to express myself. Actually, I've not read the book, and but something happened to me this year, just at the beginning of this year, and I realized that I was missing something. I was not really engaged on doing things that actually create my awareness on. Like, I used to listen of this word mindfulness. Since the day I signed up with SFM, I used to listen to that word, but I have never really paid attention on how it works, what it means, but every topic I was listening generally in the community was like, you have to mindfully take action on what you do. You have to, like, being in the present moment. You have to feel. You have to listen to yourself, your emotion, everything around. So this year, at the beginning of this year, I really asked myself, what does that mindfulness mean? Why does it take to be mindful on the action you take in every single day? So I started doing research on that topic, and I find out that it was a really interesting topic that if I put myself into it, I will really have the change I'm looking for. So, and as I'm diving in every single day, I realize that by the time I really pay attention on something, I have much benefit from it than before. And it helped me also change the attitude I'm having, change the habit. Most of my habit I'm doing every single day. I realized that not only paying attention, but paying kind attention means that have this laser focus on what I'm doing at that particular moment. And this, for me, has a different perspective on how I used to do things. And this word attention really is not really, is actually having an impact in my life. And it I'm learning much by being present in any action, in everything I carry out. So this is the reason why I can't say I've chosen the word attention, but just that my mind always focus around that word. And the word is just like, you have to you have to pay that attention, and you have to focus on what you are doing. You have to, so it's just like a command. It's just like the word want to impose itself to me. So I don't know if I'm expressing myself well. And each time I try to pay really kind attention to that word, it's just as if I'm living not only now, but I'm living in the space where I feel the emotion, I feel the happiness, the joy, everything together. So this is what I wanted to say.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. That did make sense. I appreciate it. Thank you. We've got, let me see, a couple more. Mindset.
That was
Larissa.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Did I say your name right?
Yeah, you did.
I'm a linguist. Thank
I'm
you.
from UK, and you can say it's my first time here.
Welcome.
Thank you. I've been joining the webinars, but without the camera.
We're glad to have you here. This is the place where a lot of people talk for the first time, right? Because we got a pretty cool laid back space here.
I didn't read the book. I didn't even heard about the book before. But yeah, mindset. I mean, many other words were in my mind, but mindset is the one word that changed everything. Because I had to change my mindset and my limited beliefs, like when it comes to everything, like nutrition, fitness, taking action, like doing the modules. Just the mindset is the one word that stuck with me in everything. Like I was going to write implementation and action because I feel like I can plan a lot, I can journal a lot, meditate a lot, but it comes to the action, just like with the diet and with the working out, it's not going to work unless you implement what you said, or like being consistent. Like all the words you guys said, they all apply, like laser focus, consistency. Like without consistency, like you do it once and then it doesn't work. So yeah, but it takes the mindset, the perspective that I had to change.
I agree, and a good way to be mindful about that, I think, is just ask ourselves in everything that we do: is this serving me? Really, you know what I mean? It's like, because we can answer that if we listen to the answer, like we know, like, is this getting me closer to where I'm trying to go? You know, and usually it's a pretty obvious answer. We just have to stop and ask ourselves that. You know, but I love it. I appreciate you sharing. Welcome to the call. Aspire to inspire, all in one word. That's kind of cheating. I mean, that's kind of taking two words and combining them. But since you have a
Okay.
number in the middle, we're going to go with it.
But the word, okay, the word should be inspire, not aspire to inspire. But so the word is inspiration.
But that's catchy. That's like
okay.
that's like a good website name. I mean, it's catchy. I dig it,
Yeah. So hello, everybody. For a long time, I always wanted to be part of this call, but I really thought it's only Danny's and Kaz's team partners that are only allowed to be on the call. So I used to secretly follow her on Facebook. So I'm really happy to be here. When I saw the email, I was like, yes.
We are glad you're here. We are all on the same team, man. We are on team awesome, right?
Yeah,
so everybody on this call, we're on team awesome, dude. We're all on the same team.
So I'm really happy to be part of the group today. So why inspiration for me has been the word that, like, I woke up with it for 2021, because it's just like when you're building your social media, for example, many of us show ourselves and show what we are doing, but is it really inspiring somebody else? And I began building my Instagram page as of wanting to really inspire many young people, because when you live to inspire others, then you kind of raise your bar very high to literally do things right. I want to be able to keep up with my reading, to keep up with the powerful talk, the sports and everything. But when I find something inspiring, then I really want, many other young people to get inspired, because I really want to put an impact out there to just not exist and eat and live and be happy alone, but to really make my life sort of meaningful, because I kept asking myself, of what purpose is my passage on in life, of what is it serving? Have I helped somebody grow? Have I helped somebody feel better about themselves? Have I helped to feed other children? And so how I focused on how do I pay my tithing, for example, it will go, instead of going to a church nearby me, which is already rich, I decided I'm going to choose one that is in Africa, for example, and not somebody who has just built a big church and is growing and rich and all, but to find one that has been there for years, but is just not growing. And I told myself, like, that's a pure-hearted person. And since I don't feel pure myself, I wanna feed in a little bit of a piece of me to literally be an inspiration as I grow. That I'm not looking to be Mother Teresa, but I really, I'm just so desiring so much to inspire. And if I could inspire young people and just make them enjoy, like, being on my page, for example, Slycom, my Instagram page, I want to make people laugh. Laughter is, like they say, it's the massage for the face so that we can look younger longer. And so I'm looking for content, like, as much as possible, to just make people laugh, to make people listen to something powerful from the audios that I'm going to be sharing and everything. And it's simply hoping that even if it's just one person who will have passed through my page, will sleep feeling like, wow, that was good. Oh, wow, that was inspiring. Just to make an impact, even just for that second that somebody passes through my page, probably. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you joined us and that you came to hang out with the cool kids today. It's wonderful to have you. Thank you very much. And Curls, last but certainly not least. Give it to me, sister. Tell me about courage.
It was instant. It was courage. And have courage in all the little things you do every day, whether it's posting that video, writing the content, saying what your heart wants to say out loud, fuel your self-expression with courage, and having the courage to heal, to be better, to inspire. So in my business, courage is vital. To recover from trauma, you will need to make that decision, and you'll need that courage to follow that path, to fuel your commitment and everything. And I came across, I mean, the definition of courage is the choice and willingness to confront agony, pain, danger, uncertainty, or intimidation. But also, I don't think courage is just a rigid control of fear or a denial of the emotion. I think it's being able to judge a situation, accept the emotion that comes with it, and then make the right choice and develop the right new habits in order to feel more balanced and happier. So yeah, courage just bam, popped immediately. And last year was inspiration for me. So and they're both part of my values as well. And you know that Gavin is secretly listening to us, but he's not showing his face on here. And he's writing stuff in the chat saying that my beard was much nicer than Casper's and Hassan.
Wow. Yeah,
next time I see you in person, McLean, like troublemakers.
I don't have the multitask thing down as much. I find if I try to kind of look at the chat a little, I can't be present with people who are speaking. So I leave that to you. I agree with you 100%. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's being scared of shit and doing it anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's, to me, that's what courage is all about, man, for sure.
Yeah. Having the courage to look at ourselves and our vulnerabilities and embrace them and keep moving. That's what really makes you brave. There's a few more words that I'm going to read quickly. Eunice said his word is to do, doing. So taking action, I guess. We have Saeed who said consistent. And in the tribe, we have, Gavin, again. I'm not going to read the messages. We have Clotilde who said commitment. And Gavin says, oh man, I got caught up on the phone, so missed most of the call, but his word is calm. Depends where. Because I am sure a wild and crazy person. Postscriptum, curls smell.
Wow. So you guys who don't know Gavin he's an awesome part of our community. He has an In Focus call he does on Sundays called Sunday Supplement, I believe. That's at like 5 a.m. my time. So I'm there with him in spirit, not presence.
Awesome. And he's a calm person. It's true. He is
very calm. He is very calm. And he's funny to look at too. So I mean it's all around the package, you know. So it's good. I love Gavin. I'm just playing. All right. So guys, thank you for joining us for your first time. We are super grateful. Oh, that's even cooler. So no, I don't think that's
is that the one?
I don't know. Nope, this is it.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Let me put you big here.
So I'm gonna put this was the book that we just went over. John Gordon's one of the authors. I don't know him. I don't know the other two dudes.
Right, guys.
So I'll send you the PDF. I'll send you the PDF that basically is, if you don't want to buy the book, it basically just kind of goes over what we covered earlier in the call. I'll give that to her and she'll put it there. So our action item for this call, because we always do an action item because well done is always better than well said, right? Because most people talk, but we do. So the action item, we have one that is consistent. It is the same all the time, and it is to reach out to someone and tell them that you appreciate them, that you're grateful for them. Somebody in your life, like don't text them or email them, like call them, you know, or tell them in person or send them a voice message. If you can't tell them, like, even if it's just you record your voice and send it like, hey, I'm grateful for you. I appreciate that you're in my life. Do that. That's the one action item. And you can actually do that every day. You don't have to wait till every other week to do that, you know. And the book of the week for this time, although our call is not weekly, if anybody has a better suggestion to call it, then I thought book of fortnightly sounded a little long, you know, but we'll just go with book of the week, is The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. This book is super awesome. It was written like a really long time ago, and the principles are the same because, you know, real principles don't change. And it's not big, it's short. You can read it in, I don't know how fast you read, but it's not long. It's very short. So that is our call. For those of you who joined us for the first time, we are super glad to have you here. Curls, thank you for being incredible and for making all of this happen. And thank you to those of you who came out and shared and got vulnerable. I really, really appreciate you being on the call and sharing, because this is our call. They just put my picture on it because I lost a bet. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. And for those that are watching this or haven't read the book or are still looking for your words, please share this in the comments under the live video in Facebook so that we can discover your name, your word. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. And Gavin, you smell.
Later, y'all.
Bye-bye.